here is Glenn to tell you the story of how this model came about. Welcome, Glenn.
I think that it should be that people can find their life purpose at work. I mean, that's where you go to spend your time. The purpose of businesses, I think, is to do something useful. I think people want to feel useful. And if the business was constructed like strategically from the ground up to take advantage of people's life purpose, you should be able to build a pretty robust company with engaged workers. There's about 8 billion people on the planet, and I found out that 3 billion of them are getting a paycheck, and 2 billion out of the 3 billion are disengaged at work. And an engaged worker is 3 times more productive than a disengaged worker. So for the economy, I don't know what that does for the economy, but it's got to be terrible for the economy. It's not really helping businesses make a bunch of money having disengaged workers. But I think the biggest crime is the wasted time these people spend at work, wasting their time in a job that they don't want to be in. And they're just there to make a paycheck, and then living their life after work or on the weekends or during retirement. I think one of the reasons that we have this is because, there's this economist named Milton Friedman who did a lot of good things. But he also wrote this thing called the Friedman Doctrine back in 1970 that said that the purpose of corporations is to make money for the shareholders. Like the moral obligation of corporations is to make money for the owners of the corporation. And I asked AI. I know I'm talking about AI. I'm not a big fan of AI. I don't like it, but it's here now. I think we better use it before it gets the better of us. I want to get on top of it. And the more good things you put in AI, by the way, I heard this guy that gave a talk on AI, talking about the scary part of AI, and he said, but the more good things you put in it, the better you're going to do with what you feed it. So he said, if you had something good to offer, now's a good time to offer it. So this is what I'm doing. But I asked AI, what's the purpose of business? And it said, well, to create value. And I said, to create value for who? And it said, business owners. And I thought, yeah, there you go. There are more and more businesses that are looking at all the stakeholders, the suppliers, the employees, the customers. But this is really something that needs to change. Most businesses are a hierarchy. Information goes down. Not much information goes back up. It's sort of like a benevolent dictatorship. Whereas a human business, where we're using a human form, we're focusing on collaboration. Nobody's no more important than anybody else. You need every part of your business. If you got a pebble in your shoe, wouldn't you stop and get the pebble out of your shoe? But most businesses wouldn't know that they had a pebble in their shoe. They would just keep walking and hurting themselves. So let me introduce you to some folks at SnapCab so you get a feel for what they're like.
Culture is our number one priority here at SnapCab, from the initial hiring on to everything thereafter.
When we say we're building a community of usefulness in the workplace, it means we're creating an environment where people consistently provide value to each other.
I've never worked at a place that has this type of culture. It's definitely something you want to be a part of, and it makes every day really a joy to work here.
The secret sauce to the company is that culture, is that community. And if you can have a group of people that all like each other, that respect each other, and that are kind to each other, and they can all go in the same direction, then you have something really powerful.
It's the people that I work with that really drive me in the morning. Here at SnapCab, we've got some really good core values that help us get through each and every day. Be kind, be authentic, and be useful. Not just alone, but all together, create a great SnapCab core.
We have this supportive community who can help you through the things that go wrong.
Being able to actually meet the needs of other people is a very satisfying feeling. And then everybody's doing it for each other. It's great.
And it's a really wonderful thing that you don't see very often in the business world.
It's an environment that allows them to take creative risks and build trust in a safe space so that they can do their best work.
At SnapCab, we do say that we offer a low-fear culture. Part of that is the way we capture those, we call it gamba. Things happen. We are all human. We make mistakes.
It completely removes the fear and the energy that would have been expended in assigning blame or covering yourself, making excuses, is redirected to improving the system that made the mistake possible.
Like, no one wakes up in the morning being like, I can't wait to cost this company like tens of thousands of dollars. I just can't wait. They all wake up wanting to come to work, bring their whole selves, do the job, do it well, and then go home happy, right?
What we tend to look for is your ruling love, the thing that you love to do. And we look for the place where that intersects with what SnapCab needs as a company.
They've been so accommodating in fitting the position to meet me. That allows me just to thrive and succeed, right? I've been very excited for that. It's been a great season of using my skills, but also being able to grow.
Yeah, I think what makes SnapCab kind of special is that we really are after what our employees think, and we want and value their thoughts.
We want the employee to come to work and it's not a job anymore. It's a fun place to be.
Really, what having a job at SnapCab here means is like I'm willing to work together to build something better that I couldn't do on my own.
Thank you. I'll pass that on to Jen Eamon, who put that together for me. So speaking of Jen, so she made these slides and she edited that video. And I love this slide. You see how each worker is filling a space the other person needs help. Everybody needs help. And let me just go on to the next one. So there's two companies here. I have 95 employees here in Warrington, and I have 50 employees in Kingston, Ontario. And I definitely cannot do this job. I can only do parts of my CEO job. I have a small team of people that help me specifically with my role, and we're all helping each other. We have we hire people who want to build a community. We hire people who have a love of taking care of other people. So we're looking out for each other. Something that's intolerable at work is if somebody's making life miserable for other people. That's what we don't go for. I've let go some of my top performers because they were making a toxic work environment for other people. So we go for culture first, and we find it's very easy to train people into any position when they want to be there, and they're up for learning and are open. And so how do we do this? There's a structure. It's not by accident. And our goal is really to model, number 5 here, our goal is to model our business after the human form. So like we were saying, in most businesses, it's a competition. You're trying to, get ahead of your coworker. It's not a fun place to be. But in your body, it's all about collaboration. So how do you remove fear and take people out of a world of fear and competition, and bring them into our business and get them to say, hey, we're all about collaboration here? Because they generally come with what they're used to. So we need them to go through these first three chapters of the book. These are the chapters of the book. So first of all, we start with the foundation of caring. If people don't feel cared for, they're not going to be able to be their authentic selves. They're not going to be open with who they are, and they're not going to be open to, we need people to bring up what's going wrong. And you have to have a caring environment where they feel comfortable. Then we focus on people's ruling love. What really lights them up and gets them up in the morning? what is it that gives them energy? And then we take that, when we understand what that is, then we focus it on what we need done at the company. So we have many people that come in to do one job, but later on end up doing another job once we understand what it is that they'd really like to do. I had one gentleman come to be a project manager, and once we interviewed them, I found out, well, you're a marketing person. You're a marketer. Why did you apply for project management? And he said that I just wanted to be part of this company. I didn't care what job I got. But once we understood what he was interested in, now he's managing our marketing department. So we focus them on being useful, and then we embrace problems and weakness, which is my favorite part, where we know, I thought that when you go to school and then you learn enough things, your problems are going to reduce, and eventually you're going to have a problem-free life, because all you have to do is figure it all out, and then the problems are all gone. And then you just think, man, I must be doing this wrong, because I just seem to keep having problems. Now I understand the problems are here for my benefit, and the problems outline what it is that we can do to improve. And as we improve, the problems usually increase, but your life increases too. So if you get used to the idea of the problems are there for your benefit, it feels a lot better when problems come your way. Like we say, it's like you go to the gym to tear muscle. It's like you have a problem. You're causing a problem for your muscle. But with work, it's like the gym comes to you. The problems just come find me automatically. I don't have to go to the gym. The gym just finds me. And weakness. We all have weaknesses, and that's where being part of a community that want to help you. Believe me, if I was measured by any measuring stick of what a CEO should be, I would fail. But it's my coworkers that allow me to be in the position that I'm in. So we got the human form here. So you got leadership here, sales and marketing. You got manufacturing in your hands. You've got operations in your torso. Now, I'm personally not a good example of this. I've got way too much inventory right in this area. But you can imagine what I'm talking about here, right? Like, for instance, talk about cooperation. You have a heart and lungs. They're completely different. They're not trying to compete with each other, but how far could the lungs get doing its job without working with the heart? And what good is a heart without having oxygenated blood that the lungs are supplying? So this is the way we want all of our employees to be. We want everybody to be co-essential to each other. And everybody can have a much bigger life than they could have had without being a part of a community in a workplace like SnapCab. Another example is your nervous system. So your nervous system is your management team. So the other day my ankle was itching, and I knew it immediately. So what did I do? My nervous system told me my ankle's itching. So my brain says, hey, hand, scratch my ankle. So I gave it a scratch. So that's pretty impressive. But when you think about it, what business actually, when something goes wrong, do you know right away that there's something going wrong in a department? Like, how many people have had the experience of being at work, watching a festering problem go on and on and on for years? But that doesn't happen in your body, and when it does, usually you can hopefully do something about it. So do you want to see how we create a nervous system and start adding your senses to manufacturing companies so people can understand where the ankle's itching and how we'll go back and take care of it?
Gemba, a Japanese term meaning the actual place. It's a lean system we use at SnapCab to pinpoint what's going wrong. We call them turnbacks. Anything that turns you back from reaching your goal. It could be missing a tool or a glitch in the process. Thanks to our low-fear culture, employees are confident about sharing the mistakes they've made. Our simple process encourages workers to capture turnbacks on Post-it notes and add them to the Gemba board in their work cell. Every day, our leadership team conducts a Gemba walk, reviewing each board with the workers. While some small fixes happen on the spot, The Gemba boards are not a to-do list. Think of them more as a thermometer system, visually indicating the severity of the issues. By sorting turnbacks into categories, managers can quickly see where the biggest pain points lie in each cell. To encourage employee buy-in and maintain a low-fear culture, we've gamified the Gemba system. Every turnback an employee captures earns them a ticket. Once a month at our all-company meeting, the employee with the most tickets gets to spin a prize wheel. At SnapCab, we believe the ability to identify problems is one of our most valuable assets. We've seen incredible growth by blaming systems, not people, and rewarding for mistakes. After all, there's gold in those problems. We can't fix what we don't know is broken, and Gemba keeps our community united in our pursuit of continuous improvement.
Favorite line in that video is, there's gold in those problems. When I went to training at Edo University, when I started with Otis, they sent me to their lean manufacturing school. Otis was owned by United Technologies, and they had a school. They also owned Sikorsky Helicopter and Pratt & Whitney aircraft engines, Carrier air conditioner, and a number of other companies. And the people at Otis really liked me because when I was working my contract out with them and their lawyer was having me sign contracts, I was saying, well, is there anything in here that's going to hurt me? Because, you know, we're all doing this together, right? And they're like, oh, we got to take care of this guy. But they liked me, and they sent me to their internal school. And Mr. Ito said that the gold is in the problems. And what he meant was, if you can identify a problem, it's almost like finding money on the street. You can fix the problem. So what we do is we reward employees for making mistakes, and it lowers the fear. So, and then they get time and material to go and every day we give them about an hour to fix their process, and they get materials to do that. So they're continually getting to fix their processes. So the company is constantly, it's like your body, you know, if your immune system is getting attacked by problems, by getting germs in your body, you're continually like improving your immune system by having those problems. And our company is continually being improved by our problems because we're using them to improve the company. So you might ask, how do you get employees? So how the heck do you get employees to take an audience with the management team that comes around every day to look at what you did wrong today? Like, that's what we do. Like, how do you do that? Because most people spend their time hiding what they did wrong, because obviously you don't want to share what you did wrong. But no, they share what they did wrong, but you have to have, like the cells in your body, you need DNA in every cell of your body. Every cell of your body knows what your body is trying to achieve. There's instructions in every cell that knows what the whole picture of the body is trying to do and what its special job is. And the basic DNA in SnapCab is be kind, be authentic, and be useful. And I know I benefit from this greatly because I'm regularly screwing things up. And I'm like, well, hey, there you go. We can opportunity to improve something. Well, my employees feel the same way. So, you know, you're not going to be, you know, I'm not saying nobody gets frustrated, but when they get frustrated, that's another turn back. That's another thing to look at to be fixed. So we're really looking to be kind. Then being authentic means we're being open with what's going right, and we're open with what's going wrong. And then being useful is fixing the problem and improving things. Of course, some cells don't have DNA, and sometimes you have employees that are taking from the company, but they're not adding to the company. And sometimes in our body, we have cells that are taking from your body and growing, but they're not adding to the body. So that's disease or cancer. So maybe those cells belong in another body, maybe they need to go somewhere else, or they need to be educated and get the DNA in them. But I think that's a good explanation of that. And so how do we get these people? So we're hiring people. The recruiting process, when I started, I was trying to like get people to change to be these people I was looking for. And it turned out that was an uphill battle that I wasn't going to win. But over a number of years, we started recruiting for people that wanted to be kind, authentic, and useful. And the way we do that is on the job boards, we put out a video that describes the job, like let's say a factory position, and somebody that's looking for a job can pre-meet their coworkers. They can pre-meet their coworkers in the video, and they can see where they're going to work. I was sure I wasn't going to need a glass of water. Thank you. I won't need a glass of water. Now I feel like I'm at a cocktail party. This is even better. Okay, now I feel relaxed. So they get to meet the people they're going to work with before they even apply. Then they have to watch like 20 minutes of videos about our company culture. And if you're not into the company culture, you're not going to make it through 20 minutes worth of videos. So it weeds the people out that aren't interested in what we're doing at SnapCab. And the people that are interested in that culture, they may watch those videos more than once. And then we ask the applicant to send us a video. So they apply online, and we ask them to send a video of them so we can meet them, because we get a lot of applicants, and I don't like looking at paper resumes. I mean, they do send a resume, and we do look at it, but really what comes across more is getting a video of a person where you can meet them and you get a feel for what they're like. This one is Stephen. He applied. So this is his application video here. And then he got a job at SnapCab, and he worked out in the factory for about a year building the doors for our pods. And then this is a development meeting. So all the employees get a development meeting where we get to know them better, and we get to know them better, and they get to know us better. And we find out what they really love to do. And it turned out Stephen was telling us that he loves doing kids camps. He had a background in doing kids camps. He loved teaching, but mostly he likes doing kids camps. And I'm like, well, I want to run this place like a kids camp. So, and he also said, I think I'm good. I think I'll be leaving in about 6 months. It's pretty sweet when somebody tells you that they'll be leaving in about 26 months. It's sweet when they tell you they're going to leave in about 6 months, because it's like, okay, well, now we're talking a real conversation. It's not like a hidden thing going on here. We all know where we're at. And we're like, okay, well, do we want to have Stephen here? And we want to do training. So after a year, I took Stephen to Japan, and he learned directly from people at Toyota and many other companies in Japan. And the Japanese culture is very much in alignment with what we want at SnapCab. I'm not saying all of it, but a lot of it. And it's incredible seeing these people that work together so well. So now he's a teacher at SnapCab. And let me show you the video he sent us when he applied for the job.
Hi, my name is Stephen Alberg. Before I answer your question about how I can contribute to SnapCab, I just want to take a minute just to encourage you guys on your presentation. It truly is unique. There's no other business I've come across that has multiple videos to watch that outline some of the history and really clearly articulate the culture of a business. Now, and so that's one thing. A really good job on the videos, but also just the values themselves, that it wasn't so business-centered. It was very human-centered. The value of being kind and being authentic are just so human, and it was refreshing to see in a business. And I got to be honest, part of it, the skeptic in me says, is it really true? Could it be all that? It sounds like one of those idealized businesses from a business book or leadership book. But it's truly a unique presentation. And so I just want to encourage you guys in that's really well done. What do I have to offer SnapCab? As you can see from my resume, I don't bring a lot of trade skills, not a carpenter or anything like that. But primarily my work has been in working with people. And so that's my experience. And I feel like I work well with a variety of people. That's kind of my background. And so I would bring a character. and I'm a man of integrity. I'm willing to work hard. I'm I'm excited to learn new things, and excited to take my diversity of skills that I do have and use them to contribute to building something. Maybe it's a community, a business, but to work towards a goal with a group of people would be a dream. And so I just want to thank you for this opportunity to apply, and just encourage you guys in your continued work. Have a good day.
So that kind of brings me, I'm coming to the end of this talk. I don't know if you found this interesting or not, but I find it interesting. I find it interesting that I have so many people that are interested in coming to work for us, and they really do seem really, really happy with how we're doing things. All right, but thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this.